Sorry, again, I'm just feeling so, like, jazzed up about this topic that I can't organize my thoughts, and I feel like this is very rambly, these last few videos. But I think they're really important, and I think that we need to be, yeah, okay, so see, this is what I'm talking about. I can't organize my thoughts for shit right now. One other comment on that video about empty houses representing areas where we don't want to prioritize. One of the other comments that was really where my mind was going said, the empty houses are things I want to prioritize, but it always seems like that's really difficult. And that has been mostly my experience of my empty houses. For instance, I have an empty fourth house, but I really want like that sense of belonging to a family, even if I don't want to have kids. I really want a really nice home that I feel very, very comfortable in. But circumstances in my life have manifested such that that has always been difficult. And things that I have wanted to not do, like for instance, I have Mars in the 8th house. Focusing on my, like, trauma or whatever is not something I wanted to do. But it was something that life basically drove me into, right? So I think that that's really what happens with empty houses. Same thing, I have an empty 11th house. Of course, I want a really good friend group, but that has been something that has been difficult for me my entire life because of certain circumstances in my life. Going back to my empty fourth house, I moved a lot as a kid. That makes it very difficult to make friends, and then when you don't have that sort of foundation of making friends that you learn as a kid, you don't have an easy time with that as an adult, right? So, you know, and then the empty fourth house is like, I wanted that stable home life, but that's something that I never really had. Instead, I have a planet in the 8th house. So going towards learning about that trauma, and especially with it being Mars and Cancer in the 8th, learning about my family trauma and all of that stuff, like childhood trauma, has been an absolutely necessary thing for me in life. That doesn't mean, and it has become a priority for me now, but it's not something I wanted to prioritize naturally. So I think that that is, for me, what I would say that is my experience of empty houses, is that often they're things that we want, and yet life does not make it easy to attain those things. Sometimes that's true, and then, like, we have to take into account